Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to English Learning Today. My name is Ali, and I am so happy, so excited, and so ready to learn with you today. Before we start our big topic, I want to tell you my small story, because your story and my story are connected together. I am from a small village, a quiet place, with simple houses, green fields, and a blue, open sky. I started learning English when I was 15 years old. At that time, my English was slow and my words were few. Sometimes I felt shy, sometimes I felt scared, and sometimes I felt like maybe I cannot learn. But I kept going. I kept trying, and I kept practicing. That is why I am here today with you, to help you learn step by step in easy, slow, clear English. Today, our topic is very, very powerful because it can change your life. Our topic is how to improve communication skills. Communication is not only speaking. Communication is connection. Communication is confidence. Communication is the bridge between your mind and the world. When you learn to communicate better, your life becomes better. You make friends easily. You learn faster. You get jobs more quickly. You solve problems with peace. You become strong, not with force, but with words. So, let us start this journey together. Communication means sending a message from you to another person. But it is not only speaking words. Communication has three big parts: speaking, listening, understanding. If you speak well but cannot listen, you cannot communicate. If you listen well but cannot explain your ideas, you also cannot communicate. So, good communication is a balance between these three. Imagine a bridge. One side is you. The other side is another person. Your words are the bridge. If the bridge is strong, you connect. If the bridge is weak, you fall. That is why communication skills are so important. Communication is important in school. Communication is important in family. Communication is important in friendship. Communication is important in business. Communication is important in leadership. Every place, every time, every moment needs communication. Let me give you a simple example. Example: a student who communicates. There is a boy named Sam. Sam is not the smartest student in class, but Sam asks questions. Sam talks to teachers. Sam shares ideas with friends. Because he communicates, he learns more. Because he learns more, he becomes better. Now, Think about another boy who is very smart but never speaks. He keeps his questions inside. He keeps his ideas inside. He keeps his voice inside. He knows a lot, but nobody knows him. This is why communication opens doors in life. Famous people are not famous only because they worked hard. They are famous because they communicated their ideas clearly. Story 1. Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was not an engineer like other people in Apple. He was a storyteller. He communicated ideas so clearly that people felt excited even before seeing the product. He spoke slowly. He spoke clearly. He used simple words. Because of his communication, Apple became one of the biggest companies in the world. Story 2. Oprah Winfrey. Oprah had a hard childhood. She was poor and struggled in life, but she had one strong power: communication. She listened deeply. She spoke kindly. She expressed feelings with truth. Her communication helped millions of people feel strong and confident. Story 3. Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela changed a country with his words, not with weapons. He believed that clear, peaceful communication can build a new world. This shows that communication is not a small skill. It is a world-changing skill. Good communication starts with you, not your voice, not your accent, not your grammar. It starts with your mind. Your mind must be clear, calm, confident, open. When your mind is peaceful, your message becomes powerful. So, the first step to improving communication is understanding yourself. When you know what you feel, you can say it. When you know what you want, you can express it. Communication is not only talking. Communication is thinking before talking. Confidence is the heart of communication. Confidence is not talking loud. Confidence is not being perfect. Confidence is not knowing everything. Confidence means you trust your voice. You trust your mind. You believe you can express yourself. Many people think they cannot communicate because their English is weak. But this is not true. Even people with strong English feel shy sometimes. Even people with big vocabularies become nervous sometimes. Even speakers with great grammar make mistakes. So, communication is not a language skill only. It is a confidence skill. How a shy student changed with confidence. There was a girl named Maria. Maria lived in a small town and she was very shy. When she spoke, her voice was very soft. She looked down. She did not look at people. One day, a teacher told her, "Maria, your words are good, but your fear is loud." That sentence changed her life. She learned that fear speaks loud inside your mind, but your voice can be louder if you believe in yourself. So, she started small. She spoke to one friend. Then she spoke to a group. Then she gave a small presentation. Then a bigger presentation. Years later, Maria became a teacher, and she helped other students find their confidence. Her English did not make her strong. Her belief in herself made her strong. Simple tip for confidence. Say this sentence to yourself every morning. My voice matters. My words matter. I deserve to be heard. Confidence grows when you water it every day. Listening is half of communication. Many people want to speak well, but they forget to listen. Listening is not just hearing sounds. Listening means understanding feelings, understanding ideas, understanding tone, understanding the message. Strong listening makes your communication deeper and more meaningful. Why great leaders listen. Great leaders do not only talk, they listen more than they speak. People follow leaders who make them feel heard. Think of a friend. If your friend always talks and never listens, do you feel good? No. But if your friend listens to you slowly and calmly, with care, you trust them. So, listening is a gift you give to others and to yourself. Clarity means your message is simple and easy to understand. Many people think good speaking means using big words. But big words do not make you a good communicator. Clear words make you a good communicator. Even Albert Einstein said, "If you cannot explain it simply, you do not understand it enough." So, Simple words are powerful. Simple sentences are strong. How to practice clarity? Try this. Take a big idea. Explain it as if you are talking to a 5-year-old. If they understand you, then your communication is clear. Communication is not only words. Your body also speaks. Your eyes, your hands, your posture, your face, your movement, all these send messages. If your words say, "I am confident," but your body says, "I am scared," people will believe your body, not your words. Simple body language tips. Stand straight. Relax your shoulders. Look people in the eyes for a few seconds. Smile gently. Do not cross your arms. Your body is a silent communicator. Use it to support your message. Communication breaks when emotions take control. Anger, fear, stress, and sadness can change your words and your tone. When you are angry, you speak too fast. You speak too hard. You say things you do not mean. When you are scared, you hide your ideas. You keep quiet. You lose your voice. When you are sad, your energy is low. Your words are weak. So, emotional control is very important. How one man changed his communication by controlling emotions. There was a man named Arun. Arun was smart, but he became angry quickly. When he talked to his team, he shouted. His words were sharp. His tone was loud. People did not like working with him. People feared him. People avoided him. One day, his boss told him, "Arun, you have knowledge, but no calm. Without calm, your words become weapons." After that day, Arun learned to breathe before speaking. He learned to pause. He learned to listen. Slowly, his team began to respect him. Slowly, his communication became strong. Emotional control made him a better communicator and a better person. Communication is a skill, and every skill needs practice, just like learning to ride a bike, learning to cook, learning to write, learning to drive. You cannot become good in one day. You need time. You need effort. You need patience. Practice makes communication better every day. The magic of daily practice. Try to do these things daily. Speak for 5 minutes in English. Record your voice. Explain your day to yourself. Talk to one new person. Practice slow breathing. Small practice every day is better than big practice one time. Let us connect everything you learned so far. Good communication needs confidence, listening, clarity, body language, emotional control. Practice. Think of these as the 6 pillars of a strong building. When all 6 are strong, your communication becomes unshakable. Your voice becomes clear. Your words become powerful. You become a person people want to listen to. Communication is a gift and a skill and a tool. But many people do not know how to use this tool in the right way. They think communication means talking fast, talking loud, talking a lot. But good communication is like making tea. You cannot rush it. You cannot make it too hot, too fast. You must slow down. You must let it settle. You must let it grow. The same is with words. Words need care. Words need space. Words need meaning. When you speak slowly, people listen. When you speak clearly, people understand. When you speak from your heart, people feel your message. That is why slow English, like we use here, is not simple only for learning. It is simple because simple is strong. Let me tell you a story that many people forget, but it has a deep lesson. There was a man named Charles. Charles was a smart man. He knew many things about science, history, business, and technology. When he spoke, his words were long and difficult. He thought that complicated words make him sound intelligent. One day, he had to explain a simple idea to a group of new workers. He began to talk quickly with big words and complex sentences. After his presentation, the workers looked confused. Nobody understood what he said. His boss came to him and said, "Charles, intelligence is not in big words. Intelligence is in clear communication." That day changed Charles. He learned that communication is successful only when the listener understands the message. So, from that day, he began to speak slowly. He began to use simple words. He began to watch his listener. He began to make sure his message reached the heart, not just the ears. Slowly, Charles became the best trainer in the company, not because he knew more, but because he communicated better. This story teaches us one big truth. Communication is not showing your knowledge. Communication is sharing your knowledge. Sharing needs patience. Sharing needs kindness. Sharing needs connection. When you speak to someone, ask yourself, is my message clear? Is my message kind? Is my message easy to understand? If your answer is yes, then your communication is strong. Now, let us talk about a very important part of communication that many people ignore: the rhythm of your voice. Your voice has music. Your voice has beat. Your voice has energy. When you speak too fast, the music becomes noise. When you speak too slow, the music becomes boring. You must find your middle pace, not too fast, not too slow, just calm, steady, friendly, clear, and natural. Imagine a river. A river flows smoothly, not too quick, not too still, just moving with peace. That is how your voice should flow. And now, let us talk about communication and emotion. When you speak, your words carry your feelings. If you are angry, your words sound sharp. If you are sad, your words sound heavy. If you are happy, your words sound warm. So, before you speak, always check your heart. If your heart is calm, your words will be calm. If your heart is kind, your words will be kind. If your heart is open, your words will reach others with love. There is a beautiful story from Japan about a monk and a young student. A student came to a wise monk and asked, "Master, how can I speak better?" The monk gave him a cup of tea. He began to pour tea into the cup. The cup became full, but the monk kept pouring. Tea overflowed everywhere. The student shouted, "Master, stop! The cup is full." The monk smiled and said, "Yes, and you are the same. Your mind is full of fear, full of stress, full of noise. How can you communicate when your mind is already full?" The student understood. To communicate well, you must empty your mind. You must let go of fear. You must let go of stress. You must let go of noise. Then your words come out simple, peaceful, and powerful. So, communication is not only skill. Communication is also mental peace. Now, let us talk about something very beautiful: the power of silence. Many people fear silence. They feel uncomfortable when no one is talking. So, they rush to fill the silence with random words. But silence is not your enemy. Silence is your friend. Silence gives space for your listener to think. Silence gives space for your listener to feel. Silence gives space for your listener to understand. Great communicators use silence like painters use colors. They know where to pause. They know when to slow down. They know how to build meaning. Your message becomes stronger when you are not afraid of silence. And now, let us talk about one more important part of communication: understanding your listener. Every listener is different. Some people understand fast. Some people need time. Some people like details. Some people like short messages. Some people learn by listening. Some people learn by seeing. A strong communicator does not communicate the same way with everyone. A strong communicator changes the style based on the listener. This is called adaptable communication. Let me give you an example. There was a teacher named Mr. Taylor. He had 3 students. One student learned by hearing. One student learned by reading. One student learned by doing. If he taught all 3 students the same way, 2 students would not understand. So, he used different methods. He spoke slowly for the listener. He gave notes to the reader. He showed actions to the doer. All 3 students learned well because the teacher adapted. You can do the same in your communication. When you talk to a child, use simple words. When you talk to a friend, use warm words. When you talk to a boss, use clear, professional words. When you talk to someone sad, use soft, slow, comfortable words. Adjusting your communication does not mean you are fake. It means you are kind. It means you understand. It means you care. Because communication is not only about words, communication is about connection. And connection comes from understanding. So, my dear friend, remember this. When you change your words, you change your world. Now, we will go deeper into something very special, something many people never think about, but it changes everything in communication. It is called presence. Presence means you are truly here, not lost in your thoughts, not thinking what to say next, not planning your reply while the other person talks, just being here with them, fully, completely, honestly. Presence is the silent power behind every good conversation. When you are present, people feel you, people trust you, people open their hearts to you. Let me tell you a story of presence. There was a woman named Sarah. She was kind, smart, good at her job, but people felt she did not listen. Not because she was rude, but because her mind was always by. Whenever someone spoke to her, she would think, "What should I say next? What if I say something wrong? What if they judge me?" So her mind was in the future, while the person in front of her was in the present. One day, she met an old man in a park. He was feeding birds, slowly, peacefully, like someone who understands silence. She sat next to him and said, "Sir, how can I communicate better?" The old man smiled and did not speak for a while. He just looked at her calmly, fully, completely present. After a long moment, he said, "You already have all the words you need. What you do not have is presence." Sarah did not understand. She asked, "What is presence?" The old man replied, When you listen, listen with your eyes and your heart, not only your ears. When you speak, speak from this moment, not from your fear. He picked up a small bird feather from the ground. He held it in his hand and said, "Presence is light, like this feather. If your mind is heavy, the feather cannot land. But if your mind is light and still, everything lands softly and beautifully." Sarah understood. Presence is a gift. Presence is a skill. Presence is a quiet strength. From that day, she began to practice presence everywhere. At work, with family, with friends, with herself. She started to pause before speaking. She started to breathe before reacting. She started to look into people's eyes with kindness, not pressure. Slowly, something magical happened. People began to feel heard. People began to feel valued. People began to feel safe with her. Her communication became warm. Her communication became real. Her communication became beautiful. This story teaches one big truth. Communication is not only what you say. Communication is who you are while you say it. Now, let us go a little deeper into presence. Presence means you give your full attention to the moment. But attention is not just looking. Attention is feeling. Attention is understanding. Attention is accepting. When you give someone your full attention, their heart relaxes. Their voice softens. Their words flow easily. Why? Because humans do not need perfect answers. Humans need presence. Let me explain this with a small example. A child falls and starts crying. You do not need big words. You do not need deep knowledge. You just need to kneel down, look at the child, and be present. Your presence gives comfort. Your presence gives safety. Your presence gives healing. Adults are the same. They just hide their tears better. So, now let us explore how presence makes your communication powerful. When you are present, you listen fully. You understand faster. You respond better. You make fewer mistakes. You build trust. People can feel your energy, even before you speak. If your energy is rushed, your words feel rushed. If your energy is calm, your words feel calm. Presence brings calmness into your communication. Presence brings clarity. Presence brings connection. And there is another beautiful effect of presence. Your mind stops overthinking. Overthinking is a big enemy of communication. When you overthink, you stop listening. You start imagining. You start fearing. You start rushing. But when you are present, overthinking sits down. It becomes quiet. It becomes small. Your words become natural. Your voice becomes steady. Your communication becomes pure. Presence is not difficult. Presence is simple. You just need to breathe slowly, focus gently, listen deeply, and speak honestly. When you do this, your communication glows, your face glows, your presence glows. People will say, "I don't know why, but I love talking to you." And the reason will be your presence. Presence is not loud. Presence is not fancy. Presence is not complicated. Presence is quiet strength. Presence is soft confidence. Presence is calm power. Communication is like gardening. You plant the seed of your message. You water it with attention. You protect it from distractions and stress. You give it sunlight with clarity and confidence. And then you wait patiently until it grows into a strong tree of connection. Practice is the fertilizer that helps your tree grow fast. Without practice, even the most beautiful words can get lost or forgotten. Let me tell you a story about practice. There was a young man named Rahul. Rahul wanted to be a great speaker. He dreamed of standing on a stage and inspiring thousands. But when he spoke to one person, he stuttered. He forgot words. He felt shy. One day, his teacher told him, "Rahul, you cannot become a great speaker without practice. Practice is like lifting weights for your voice and your confidence." Rahul took this advice seriously. He practiced every day. He spoke in front of a mirror. He spoke to his friends. He recorded his voice. He listened to it slowly and carefully. At first, it was hard. His voice was weak. His words felt heavy. But he did not give up. Slowly, he noticed change. His voice became steady. His words became clear. His confidence grew. After a year, Rahul stood on a real stage. He spoke to hundreds. People listened with attention. People felt inspired. And he realized the power of practice. Practice does not only improve words. Practice improves confidence. Practice improves presence. Practice improves connection. Practice improves your whole being. Communication is also about stories. Stories are magical. They carry ideas. They carry feelings. They carry truth. Even the most complex idea becomes simple when told as a story. Think of great leaders. Think of teachers. Think of writers. Think of speakers. All of them use stories. Steve Jobs did not sell computers. He told stories about dreams, possibilities, and future. Oprah Winfrey did not only give advice. She shared stories of her life and stories of others. Nelson Mandela did not fight with weapons. He told stories of freedom, justice, and peace. Stories make people listen. Stories make people remember. Stories make people feel. If you want to improve communication, start with stories. Even your own life can be a story. Your childhood, your school, your family, your friends, your struggles, your dreams. Share them slowly. Share them clearly. Share them with honesty. Now, let's talk about mistakes. Many people fear making mistakes. They think if they say a wrong word, people will judge them. They think if they stumble, people will not respect them. But this is wrong. Mistakes are natural. Mistakes are necessary. Mistakes are teachers. Even the greatest speakers make mistakes. Even the greatest leaders make mistakes. The secret is to keep going. The secret is to smile when you stumble. The secret is to correct yourself calmly. Your mistake does not destroy you. Your fear of mistake destroys you. Communication is also about curiosity. Be curious about others. Ask questions. Listen to answers. Notice details. Pay attention to feelings. Curiosity creates connection. Curiosity shows you care. Curiosity makes your words alive. A story from history. Einstein was not only a genius because he knew physics. He was curious about everything. He asked questions. He listened to ideas. He observed nature. He communicated ideas through simple stories and examples. Curiosity made him understood. Curiosity made his ideas powerful. Now, let's talk about one more important thing: patience in communication. Many people want instant results. They want everyone to understand immediately. They want instant connection. But communication is not instant. Communication is like a river. It flows slowly. It touches everything gently. It does not rush. When you communicate with patience, people feel safe. People feel valued. People listen. When you rush, people feel confused. People feel ignored. People stop listening. And finally, communication is about service. When you speak, think how your words help someone, how your words make someone smile, how your words give clarity, comfort, hope, and understanding. Words are like gifts. Give them with love. Give them with care. Give them with respect. My dear friends, this is the heart of communication. It is not just a skill. It is a way of being. It is a way of living. It is a way to connect your mind and heart to the world. When you practice every day, speak slowly, listen carefully, watch your body, control your emotions, share stories, accept mistakes, stay curious, be patient, and give your words as gifts, you will see your life change. People will listen. People will trust. People will remember. And you will feel the joy of real connection. Communication is not just words. Communication is connection. Communication is listening and speaking from the heart. Communication is not rushed, not forced, not mechanical. Many people think that communication is only about vocabulary. They think grammar makes communication perfect. They think if English is perfect, communication will work. But this is wrong. Communication is first about human connection. It is about how your words touch another person. It is about how your presence makes people feel safe, heard, and valued. Let me tell you a story that shows this perfectly. There was a man named Daniel. Daniel was very smart. He knew English very well. He knew big words, long sentences, and complex grammar. One day, he was asked to teach English to a group of students. He was excited. He thought, I know English perfectly. I can teach perfectly. He began his class with big words, long sentences, complex grammar. He explained rules and rules and rules. The students looked confused. Some felt lost. Some felt frustrated. Some felt afraid to speak. After the class, Daniel was confused. He asked his teacher, why didn't they understand? I spoke perfect English. His teacher smiled and said, Daniel, they don't need perfect English. They need understanding. They need connection. They need slow, simple, human English. They need your presence, not your rules. Daniel realized his mistake. He started to change. He spoke slowly. He used simple words. He smiled. He watched his students' faces. He noticed confusion and clarity. Slowly, the students began to respond. Slowly, they began to speak. Slowly, they began to learn. Daniel understood a big truth. Communication is not about you. It is about the other person. Now, my friends, let us go deeper. Communication also needs consistency. If you want to improve your skills, you cannot practice once or twice. You cannot learn all rules today and forget tomorrow. You must practice every day, even for 5 minutes. Think of a muscle. A muscle grows stronger with regular exercise. A muscle does not grow stronger with one lift. Communication is the same. Consistency builds confidence. Consistency builds clarity. Consistency builds connection. A famous example is Warren Buffett. Buffett reads and practices decision-making every day. He learned communication through listening and reading consistently. He writes letters to share ideas. He practices connecting with people every day. Consistency makes him understood. Consistency makes his words powerful. Next, communication needs observation. Observation means watching, not looking for mistakes, not looking to judge, but watching to understand. Watch faces, watch eyes, watch hands, watch posture, watch tone, watch reaction. Observation gives feedback. It tells you if your words work. It tells you if your message is clear. It tells you if your listener is comfortable. Even famous speakers like Barack Obama use observation. He watches his audience. He notices their reaction. He changes tone, speed, and words based on what he observes. Observation is not passive. It is active. It is part of communication. Communication also needs storytelling. Stories make ideas alive. Stories make words memorable. Stories make hearts connect. Even in business, stories are used to sell ideas. Even in schools, stories are used to teach. Even in history, stories carry lessons from generation to generation. You can use your own life as a story. Your struggles, your successes, your failures, your dreams. For example, J.K. Rowling was once poor and rejected by many publishers. She used her story to inspire millions. Your story is powerful. Use it. Tell it slowly and clearly. Another key idea is asking questions. Good communication is not only talking. It is listening and asking. Questions show interest. Questions show care. Questions help you understand. For example, instead of saying, "Do you like this?" ask, "What part do you like most? What do you feel about this?" Questions make people feel valued. Questions open the door for conversation. Questions build connection. Now, let's talk about body language. Your words matter, but your body speaks louder. Stand straight. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Smile gently. Move your hands slowly. Look people in the eyes. Body language supports your words. If your body and words match, people trust you. If they don't match, people feel confused. Next is emotional control. Anger, fear, sadness, or stress can change your voice, tone, and words. When you control your emotions, your message is clear. Your voice is steady. Your communication is strong. Famous leaders like Mahatma Gandhi controlled their emotions, even in difficult situations. This made their words powerful and their messages lasting. And finally, practice, practice, practice. Speak every day. Read every day. Listen every day. Observe every day. Even if you speak for 5 minutes, even if you practice slowly, your communication grows. Remember, my friends, communication is a skill, a habit, a way of being. It is a gift to yourself and others. We have already explored many powerful ideas. Confidence in your voice. Listening with attention. Speaking with clarity. Body, language, and presence. Patience and curiosity. Stories and connection. Practice and consistency. Now we are moving toward the final lessons, where we combine everything and understand the true heart of communication. Communication is not only a skill you learn, it is a way to live. It is a way to connect your mind and heart to others. It is a bridge between people, cultures, and hearts. Let me tell you a story about a man named Michael. Michael was a quiet man. He loved books. He loved learning. He loved ideas. But when he spoke, people did not listen. He felt invisible. He felt frustrated. One day, he met a teacher. The teacher said, "Michael, communication is not about speaking more or using big words. It is about sharing your heart." Michael did not understand. The teacher gave him a task. Go to people and listen. Do not speak first. Just listen slowly, carefully. Notice their words, their eyes, their hands, their feelings. Michael did this every day. At first, it felt strange. At first, he felt shy. At first, he did not know what to say. But after a week, something changed. People began to open their hearts. People began to trust. People began to listen. Michael realized a powerful truth. Good communication is not about you. It is about the other person. Now, let's talk about another deep lesson. Empathy. Empathy is understanding someone else's feelings. Empathy is feeling with another person. Empathy is not judging, not correcting, not criticizing. When you speak with empathy, your words become soft, warm, and powerful. Famous leaders like Mother Teresa used empathy every day. She did not need big words. She needed a heart that listened, a heart that understood, a heart that connected. Even in business, leaders like Richard Branson use empathy. He listens to employees, understands their challenges, and communicates solutions with kindness. Empathy is a superpower for communication. Another key idea is adaptability. Every person is different. Some like slow words. Some like detailed explanations. Some like stories. Some like facts. You cannot use the same style for everyone. Great communicators change their style to fit the listener. For example, Albert Einstein explained complex science using simple examples. He adapted his words to the listener's understanding. This made his ideas powerful. Now, let's focus on patience and timing. Communication is not a race. It is a dance, a slow dance where every word has space, every pause has meaning. When you rush, your words lose power. When you pause, your words gain strength. When you wait, your listener feels respected. A story from history. Martin Luther King, Jr. He waited for the right moment to speak. He used pauses. He used tone. He used words carefully. His "I have a dream" speech was not rushed. It was perfect because he used time wisely. Next, we will talk about practice in real life. Reading about communication is not enough. Speaking slowly alone is not enough. You must practice with people. Talk to friends. Talk to family. Talk to strangers. Observe their reaction. Notice their feelings. Every conversation is a lesson. Every listener is a teacher. Every word is an opportunity. Now, let's talk about mistakes. Mistakes are natural. Even the greatest speakers make mistakes. Even the greatest leaders make mistakes. Barack Obama once paused for 5 seconds while giving a speech. Some people thought he was wrong, but he used the pause to connect with the audience. Mistakes do not destroy communication. Fear of mistakes does. Now, my friends, we are moving toward the final lesson and outro. The last and most important lesson is this: communication is love. Love does not mean romantic love. Love means care. Love means understanding. Love means connection. When you speak with love, people listen. When you speak with love, people trust. When you speak with love, people remember. Even small words like please, thank you, how are you, you matter. These words carry love. These words carry connection. Now, it is time for the outro. Dear friends, thank you for joining me on this beautiful journey of communication. We have learned confidence in your voice, listening with attention, speaking clearly, body, language, and presence, patience and curiosity, storytelling, practice and consistency, empathy, adaptability, timing. Mistakes are lessons. Love in communication. Practice these lessons every day. Apply them with friends, family, teachers, colleagues, and even strangers. Remember, my friends, communication is not just words. It is connection. It is presence. It is love. Your words have power. Your voice has power. Your heart has power. Use them well. Speak slowly. Listen carefully and share your heart. This is the true secret of great communication. Thank you for being with me today on English Learning Today. Keep practicing every day. Keep listening slowly. Keep speaking slowly. Keep connecting your heart and words. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and keep communicating beautifully.